इस पॉडकास्ट को शुरू करने से पहले मेरी आपसे एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है। सब्सक्राइब बटन और बेल आइकन को क्लिक करिए, क्योंकि आपके ऐसा करते ही आप हमारी कम्युनिटी के पार्ट बन जाते हो, हमारी कम्युनिटी बड़ी हो जाती है और ट्रस्टेबल हो जाती है। ये स्पेशली इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है हमारे गेस्ट के लिए, जिनको हम बहुत मेहनत से अप्रोच करते हैं, और वो जब आते हैं पॉडकास्ट पे तो अपने सालों की इंफॉर्मेशन आपके साथ शेयर करते हैं, जिसको आप आराम से घर में बैठ के सुन पाते हो। उन गेस्ट के लिए ये इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है कि कौन सुनेगा उनको, कितने लोग सुनेंगे, और ये सवाल का जवाब आप बहुत आसानी से दे सकते हो सब्सक्राइब करके। आपको सिर्फ इतना करना है, बाकी हम देख लेंगे। तो आइए चलते हैं, देखते हैं ये पॉडकास्ट।
Islam is 1,500 years old.
Yeah.
What were the Muslims before they were Muslims? Christianity is 2024 years old. What were the Christians before they were Christians? What were the Hindus before they were Hindus?
Yeah.
Hindus ate beef all the time.
Yeah.
Hindus got married 6 times, 8 times. Hindus even married. और हमारे जजेस भी इतने बेवकूफ है। एक जज था, पता नहीं कौन था, एक हिंदू लड़की ने यूपी में किसी मुसलमान से शादी कर ली। She was a 24-year-old girl. Declare the marriage. अरे हमारा जो अभी चीफ जस्टिस गया है, वो spineless person on this planet.
What does it take to rise from ground to topmost?
Hard work, only hard work and that burning desire. You know, my classmates were Mithun, Naseeruddin Shah, Puri, Shakti Kapoor, Shabana Azmi.
Oh my God.
And they all made it big and I didn't, for the simple reason because if I did not own a hotel in Goa, if I was a tourist, I would not come to Goa. More people have left India in the last 10 years than they had 30 years before that. पहले लोग गए थे काम ढूंढने,
अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए,
अब लोग. So this is not a brain drain, this is wealth drain.
CEO of Sur La Mer Resort, Goa, Rajoo Verman. That's our guest today. Very well read, well lived, and a very strong believer that 2 + 2 is always equals to 4. What does it mean? Let's hear him out. In the travel industry, in the tourism industry, there are terms like this that, experiential living.
Marketing, all marketing. वो दिल्ली में आप किसी रेस्टोरेंट जाओ तो है मुगलाई फूड. मुगलों ने कभी वैसा खाना खाया ही नहीं.
Chinese.
Indo-Chinese.
Yeah.
They're all publicity stunts.
वो एक से दूसरे को कुछ यूनिक करते रहने के लिए.
बिल्कुल. In the hospitality trade, now talking about.
Yeah.
The single most important thing in this world is personal.
आप क्या करते हो ऐसा उनके साथ?
I've been talking to you. Every evening I sit behind my bar. It is called my throne.
Okay.
And all my guests, 20, 30 jitne bhi hain, they are sitting around me. And we are sharing experiences, having drinks. So that's
the personal
touch.
That's the key of that. And since affordability is increasing for people to travel, and tourism as such has increased.
Affordability is not increasing.
Acha.
Affordability is going down because options are increasing.
बट एक हॉलिडे करने के लिए आज के टाइम पे बंदे के पास क्रेडिट कार्ड है, जेब में पैसे
हैं, पर ऑप्शंस बहुत है ना.
हाँ, वो स्पॉइल्ड फॉर चॉइसेस.
I was telling you earlier that 15 countries who made visa free travel for Indians. The flights are much cheaper than coming to Goa, for example. I'm comparing it to Goa.
Right.
The hotels are much cheaper than Goa. If I did not own a hotel in Goa, if I was a tourist, I would not come to Goa. It's bad for my business. And you are going to broadcast it. I'm saying so myself.
Because it's way more expensive than any
no
other
infrastructure. Way more flights. I was coming from Bombay on the 27th of last month. 24,000 rupees one-way ticket from Bombay to Goa on a Friday.
Insane.
Return ticket from Bombay to Bangkok is 20,000 rupees.
तो वहीं ना चला जाए आदमी.
तो ऑप्शंस बहुत ज्यादा हो गए ना. नाउ एनी टॉम डिक एंड हैरी can afford to go to Bangkok or Vietnam. Vietnam तो $20 में first class कमरा मिल जाता है. Visa free travel, direct flights, taxis are cheap, food is dirt cheap.
And good.
And good, and you're in a foreign country.
Yeah. वो ठप्पा भी तो है, foreign
ठप्पा
गए.
भी है, बिल्कुल.
So tourism overall in the country is...
No, Kerala tourism doing phenomenally well.
अच्छा.
Rajasthan is doing phenomenally well. The best hotel in the world is a hotel in Rajasthan. Do you know that? It was just voted 5 days ago. मैं नाम नहीं पता मेरे को.
The palace.
Some palace, I don't know what is the name. It has been voted the best hotel in the world.
In the world.
And they are charging 2 lakh rupees a night. And you have to book 1 year in advance.
अच्छा, वो भी है. उसके इतना महंगा होने के बाद भी इतनी बुकिंग है.
When 90% of their guests are foreigners.
हाँ, हमारे देश में तो मुश्किल ही है.
So Kerala tourism is, people used to come to Goa and go to Kerala for 4 days. Now people are going to Kerala and coming to Goa for 3 days.
And that's because they have better infrastructure now?
Much better infrastructure. Much less corruption. No taxi mafia.
That's वो तो यहाँ पे crazy.
Hotels are cheaper. Those backwater boats are much cheaper. People are more hospitable.
Happy to have you around.
And also, Goa mein ek aur, what has happened is that in the last 10, 12 years, people like me, I'm an outsider in Goa. I'm from Delhi.
Yeah.
A lot of Delhi people have taken over Goa.
Places.
Businesses in Goa. Now, their way of doing business is different than what the original Goans way of doing business was.
Sure.
Now, Goans complain कि भैया दिल्ली वाले आके हमारा यहाँ पे लैंड ले रहे हैं. अरे भैया अगर तुमको अफसोस है तो मत बेचो. अगर कोई खरीद रहा है इसीलिए खरीद रहा है कि तुम बेचने को तैयार हो. You're right to an extent that Delhi people are, a little more aggressive but if you're so worried, then don't sell your land. If you don't sell your land, they will not come.
Correct.
But you want to sell your land at maximum amount of profit.
Yeah.
You cannot have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it. Eat your cake and have it too. True. It has to go one way. 2 and 2 has to make 4. End of story.
Fair. Absolutely.
Now, if you're saying these Delhi people, Delhi wala are coming and taking our land, you're right. But it's only one part of the 2. It is still not making 4. It starts making 4 when you say we will not sell them the land.
उचित भी मेरी पट भी मेरी वो नहीं हो सकता.
वो नहीं हो सकता.
That's absurd. And what's this? Like Goa has seen maximum honeymoons, I think.
Honeymoon?
Honeymoons. Honeymooners. Goa has seen like from the last 20, 30 years, that's been the Indian dream of...
I'll tell you why.
I thought it was booze and party. And
No. You can get booze anywhere you want. You live in Delhi, go to Haryana, Gurgaon, there's full of bars. बूज ही बूज है वहां पर. अब उत्तराखंड चले रहो, नैनीताल, मसूरी चले रहो, जितनी दारू चाहिए मिलेगी. फिर त्रिवेंद्रम चले रहो, राजस्थान चले रहो, हर जगह मिलती है बूज. See, the advent of Goa was that Goa was basically discovered by hippies in the 60s.
Yes.
Okay. Then Goa went on the world map. World map meaning the international map, not Indian map. Then the Indians started coming. For Indians, foreign travel was a taboo. Was no, because पैसे ही नहीं होते थे, पासपोर्ट भी नहीं मिलता था. यहाँ पे वो देखते थे, चलो 200 अंग्रेज हैं, गोरी चमड़ी.
फॉरेन जैसा लगता था.
हाँ, ऐसे लगता था कि हम यूरोप में हैं.
That's true.
तो फिर इंडियंस ने यहाँ अरे यार वहाँ चले
लड़कियाँ
गोरी लड़कियाँ बहुत खूबसूरत लड़कियाँ वहाँ मिलती है. हम लंदन तो जा नहीं सकते, न्यूयॉर्क तो जा नहीं सकते.
यही देख लो. You're right.
Indians started coming. More tourists started coming. If I walk from my hotel to 1 kilometer, I will see at least 100 Europeans. I live in Delhi, Nizamuddin. If I walk from Nizamuddin to Connaught Place, which is 15 kilometers, I might not see even one European.
हाँ. Yeah, नहीं दिखेगा.
अब यहाँ पे बीच पे जाते हैं this scantily clad, beautiful women lying sunbathing. ये इंडिया में और कहाँ मिलता है इनको? अब चक्कर ये है कि वो ही नहीं आ रहे तो ये क्यों आएंगे? अब आप कलंगूट जाओ, बागा जाओ, most of it are either from Karnataka or from Telangana or UP, Bihar, UP, or Delhi.
Delhi, yeah.
Now the Indians used to come here because of the Europeans. The Europeans have stopped coming here because of the Indians. The Indians have this habit of ogling at women and you know.
Yeah, all of it.
मैं बीच पे गया एक बारी, about 10 years ago. So if anybody goes to the beach, they are looking towards the ocean. You know, they're looking at the sea.
वही देखने आए हो?
And all the Europeans, they sunbathe. जितने भी वहां पे Indians खड़े हुए थे, their back was at the ocean and they were looking at the Europeans.
खुले आओ. Yeah.
तो अब वो Indians भी आना बंद कर देंगे यहाँ पे, because Europeans नहीं आएंगे.
Indians ही को देखने तो नहीं आएंगे.
Indian तुम गुड़गांव जाके देख लो, दारू चाहिए वहां पे ले लो. So why should they come here? I used to have 95% European staying over here. Even right now at 50% occupancy, 100% Europeans. I don't have any Indians staying with me even now. But once upon a time it was full of Europeans. Now, I think my hotel Europeans still come.
Also because of the
references, and it is kind of a European hotel. It's got a French name, Sur La Mer.
Yeah. So considering that all of that was like 20 years back, you know, and India, I believe, has really evolved in the last 15 years as dynamic as...
No, it's not evolved in the last 15 years.
Okay.
It has gone down in the last 15 years. Prior to that, since 1993, after Manmohan Singh, what is it, 93? When you opened them, then it evolved. Now it's going down the drain.
Why do you say that?
Because of situation, political situation.
Security.
People are scared.
Employment.
Nobody can speak his mind out.
That's true. Yeah.
If the whole world says that we're heading towards authoritarianism, I don't know how far it's true.
What do you feel?
It doesn't bother me. I am in my own part of Goa. I'm not affected by politics. I'm not affected by politicians. But one reads a lot. Yeah. One sees it on the internet. And people are scared.
Yeah.
One sees it, you know, even otherwise. People are scared. And subconsciously. Deep down they're scared.
Yeah.
So it's not as open a society as in what we grew up in.
Right.
It's closed. It's closed a lot in the last 10, 12 years.
I agree.
And people are also become intolerant.
Impatient?
Not impatient, intolerant. Indians were always impatient, but we were tolerant. Now we could tolerate other people, other people's point of views. We could tolerate other people's religion. We could tolerate other people's customs. Now that seems to be disappearing very fast. See, my theory is very, very simple. Which is the youngest religion in the world today?
Youngest?
It's Sikhism.
That's the youngest.
Sikhism is 500 years old.
Okay.
Islam is 1,500 years old.
Okay.
Christianity, we go by the Christian calendar, so it is exactly 2024 years old.
Yeah.
Buddhism, few thousand years old. Zoroastrianism, again, few thousand years old. Hinduism, I would say, is much younger, although much older, because Hinduism was never a religion, it was a way of life. There were no do's and don'ts. Hindus ate beef all the time.
Yeah.
Hindus got married 6 times, 8 times. Hindus even married their own sisters.
This part I don't know.
Yes, they did.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Hindus ate beef. This is the fallacy where they say that most
Non-
Indians are vegetarians. As a matter of fact, 70% of Indians are non-vegetarians.
This is absolute.
So my point
delusion.
is that the youngest religion is Sikhism. What were the Sikhs before they were Sikhs?
What was it?
What if Islam is 1,500 years old?
Yeah.
What were the Muslims before they were Muslims? Christianity is 2024 years old. What were the Christians before they were Christians? What were the Hindus before they were Hindus?
Yeah.
What were the Buddhists before Gautam Buddha was born?
True.
So there is no religion, no such
There was
thing
no-
as religion.
Yeah.
Religion is man-made.
Absolutely.
ये religion तब शुरू होता है that okay, a Sikh has been Sikh for the last since he was born. I think for about 10 million years or whatever. He's only 500 years old. There is religion was made to control society.
Yeah. In a way that a group of people wanted to.
Wanted to control society and do's and don'ts. Man-made thing.
And it's also, and whatever must have been made at any point of time, it's not exactly that which is
That has
retaining.
been bastardized completely.
Yeah. Jab jiska
The
jo mana raha hai.
Muslims don't know. None of them, 99% of the Muslims that might have read the Quran, but it's written in Arabic. They don't even understand Arabic.
Somebody is
Hindus-
reading it out.
Hindus don't understand Sanskrit. So they are Gita or whatever. The Christians don't understand that Latin, what is written in the Bible.
Right.
They only understand when they go to a church or when they go to a temple, what the preacher tells them
Right.
in simple words. And he is misinterpreting everything to his advantage or to the present governments or present rulers'
Yeah.
advantage.
And that's across all so-called
the whole
religions.
world.
Yeah.
Across
That's
the
what.
whole world. You know, the only atheist country in the world was, what is it? Albania.
Albania.
The only declared atheist country in the world.
Like there's no religion.
No God.
No God whatsoever.
No God whatsoever. Albania was initially, but now after the Soviet Union broke up, a little bit of religion, but they have like 60% now Christians, 30% Muslims, Greek Orthodox, and various
mix of
mix.
that. Yeah.
But that is 0.5%, 1%. Gypsies.
Anyways, it's a very small place.
But they don't believe in God.
So cool.
They're totally happy.
And they're happy.
Well, very happy.
They're fine.
Yes,
they're
yes.
thriving. They're doing everything.
Very happy. And
Yeah.
they don't believe in God. It is recorded. You can look it up.
I will.
Google it. The only declared atheist country in the world is Albania.
So what is this? Why is control so intrinsic to humans? Why do we all want to control someone, something?
See, it starts with our family.
Hierarchy.
The father wants to control the mother. The mother wants to control the kids. The kids want to control their weaker friends. The weaker friends want to control the weakest friends. The weakest friends will control their toys, their dolls, and talk to them and bully them. Life is all about control. And life should have been about, you know what? Control and shift. You reset it and you come back to normal.
That's a great. So if somebody controlling, the other person could press the shift. It's like
on the computer key, control shift. Control shift delete. It should have been that way.
Oh wow.
But it's only control.
And like, have you been around people who are dominating?
I'm very dominating.
You yourself?
Yes.
So what is it?
I dominate. See, according to me, I'm not boasting.
Sure.
I'm the most rational person I've ever met in my life. I believe in the 2+2 theory.
Okay.
My 2+2 theory is that 2 + 2 has to make 4. It cannot make 4.5. It cannot make approximately 5 or approximately 3.5.
3.5.
Whatever decision I make in my life, in that decisions contest, I always add up in my mind, does it make 4 or no?
And how do you know?
2 plus 2, because that is rationalization of everything. You have to rationalize everything in your mind. 2 plus 2 has to make 4.
Sure.
There's no way it can make anything but 4. And if certain thing does not make 4, if you order a cup of tea, there's less milk or less sugar. That means 2 plus 2 is not making 4. There's something missing.
As per the recipe of the tea.
Yes. So when you put the right amount of sugar, right amount of milk, then it makes 4.
But isn't right subjective? Isn't right subjective?
See, there are certain things, rationality is not subjective. Rationality is not, maybe I gave a wrong example. Rationality is definitely not subjective. Rationality is the truth.
Is rational enough.
2 plus 2 is not subjective. If it was subjective, it could have been 5.
Yeah.
A student might say, a teacher asks him, 2 plus 2 is what? Approximately 5.
Right.
It's not approximately. There are so many stupid people in this world. And as you grow older, I'm 70 plus.
Wow.
You also become less tolerant of stupidity. And I become impatient with stupidity because I realize, how can educated people be stupid? The first thing, when you go to any decent school, you are always taught, the first thing is to be rational in your life.
Yeah.
It basically comes down to 2 plus 2.
Fair.
That is rationality.
Yeah.
But people, they don't think, unfortunately.
And is it a coming from our culture, or is it
not only our culture? This is worldwide phenomena, not only in India.
Not only in India.
In India, people just don't care.
I agree. Yeah. फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता.
They don't care about things. They don't care. They only care about themselves. But that is also because of a reason. Because we've been such a poor country. That जिसके पास 2 टाइम का खाने का पैसा नहीं, how the hell will he care about?
दुनिया की क्या सोचेगा?
दुनिया की क्या देखेगा?
Yeah, बिल्कुल.
During the times of our grandparents, things were different. They might not have been as educated as us.
Yeah.
But their values were 100 times more than us. They knew a good thing. They knew the right thing. They might do something wrong, but knowingly they would do it wrong. And when they did it, they knew that it was wrong. But circumstances make you do wrong things. I do wrong things all the time. The circumstances that make me, but I should know. You can lie to the whole world. You can't lie to yourself. As simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't lie to yourself. Deep down inside, you know.
You know it.
Before you go to sleep at night, कि भैया ये मैंने गलत किया, ये काम ठीक नहीं किया था आज. पर अब करना पड़ा, क्या करो?
Yeah. So you were saying that the grandfather's generation was somebody like who would choose it. If they've done something wrong, they know it's wrong and they'll accept it. Not try and call it right. People
little younger than me, not my children's generation, but little younger than me.
50, 60. Yeah.
They are totally corrupt. Then the next generation would be your generation or my children's generation.
Yeah, 40s.
They have a very intelligent mind. They want to correct things. It is the in-between generation between my children and myself. People who are in service today, who are in their 50s, late 50s, the bureaucrats, they don't care. They do whatever they are told to do as long as they get enough money and enough benefits.
So between your generation to mine, what did you see? You were there. What did you see shifting in the system that could have caused like the 50, 60-year-olds today?
See, first of all, my generation, we grew up with nothing.
True.
Okay? We had never had a McDonald's hamburger.
Yeah.
We couldn't even buy a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Everything was controlled.
Limited.
Car was like, you couldn't get a telephone.
Yeah.
It took 10 years, 12 years, 15 years to get a phone.
Yeah.
So we got used to it. After that, in the 90s, mid-90s, when things started kind of liberalizing, everything was available in excess. And people got more materialistic because everything was available. Education became much more important than it was during our time. My generation was not as educated. You couldn't go abroad to study. You couldn't get a visa. You couldn't get a passport. You didn't have money at that time. If you wanted to go abroad, when I was a youngster, you got $100 from the government of India. If you're going for a month holiday, you got $100. Prior to that, you used to get $8. Raj Kapoor made a film called Around the World in $8. The government of India would only release $8 of foreign exchange for you to travel. Then the generation started believing the IITs opened. People started thinking more. People started going abroad for studies because it was liberalized. They got scholarships. Today, 50% of the world's CEOs of the top companies are Indians.
Yeah.
But अब वो पहुंच गए जहां पे वो पहुंच गए.
हाँ.
आगे नहीं पहुंचेंगे वहां पे. Now it's all downhill.
क्यों? अभी वहाँ हंगर खत्म हो गया.
हंगर खत्म है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत कम हो गई हैं.
हाँ. थिन लाइन हो गई अभी.
अभी you are telling me ना कि किसी ने 450 करोड़ एजुकेशन के वापस कर दिए. खर्च नहीं चाहते लोग पैसे एजुकेशन के ऊपर. गांव में स्कूल है तो टीचर नहीं है. You learn from 3 things in this world. Experience is one. Your family upbringing, that comes without saying.
Yeah.
Actually 4 things. Travel, mixing around with different cultures, going to different places, and reading. Today's generation doesn't read. I think my son, who is now 42 years old, has read maybe 2 or 3 books in his life. My daughter, the same. If you go to my house in Delhi, where I don't live anymore, I have floor-to-ceiling books.
All yours.
All mine. If you go to my room where I live over here, there'll be 100 books lying over there. Nobody wants to read. Everybody wants to take the easy way out. कि भाई ये किताब अच्छी है, Netflix पे इसकी वो आएगी, डॉक्यूमेंट्री आएगी, वो देख लेंगे.
And what, according to you, is the आप देखते हो Netflix पे documentaries?
नहीं.
आप नहीं देखते हो. तो but since you're an avid reader, आप क्या बोलोगे उन लोगों को जो नहीं पढ़ते हैं कि क्यों बुक क्यों पढ़नी चाहिए? क्या हो जाता है?
अरे किसी ने शेक्सपियर नहीं पढ़ी आज तक. हमारे तो टाइम पे it was compulsory to read Shakespeare.
और क्यों पढ़ना चाहिए शेक्सपियर?
Because there's so much you learn. I mean, all the great sayings. For example, one of Shakespeare's sayings is very popular, but most people don't understand what it means. To be or not to be, that is the question. What does it mean, basically? To be or not to be. It does not mean कि ये मैं हूँ या नहीं हूँ. It means ये मैं करूँ या ना करूँ.
And that's like the summary of life.
Yes.
In that one statement.
Exactly. Nobody reads Shakespeare, nobody reads Dickens, nobody reads poetry anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody reads, period.
Nobody reads, yeah.
अब तो प्लेबॉय भी बंद हो गई. Even that had some knowledge in it.
Some way of life.
Yes.
It's an important way of life, but it's saying something, yeah. अभी तो वो वाला हो गया कि पका पकाया दे दो. अभी तो पका पकाया किसी तरह से easy to process में दे दो.
It's like playing a hockey match. कि वो हमने फील्डिंग नहीं करनी और वो ड्रिबलिंग नहीं करनी. अपने को पेनल्टी शॉट चाहिए. That also without the goalkeeper. Just you at the goal post. कि बस
keep hitting.
That is what people want. They want a penalty shot without a goalkeeper and no dribbling, no coming from one end to the other.
तो आपके हिसाब से क्या होगा फिर इस जनरेशन का? What's your
जिंदगी क्या? Now I will only talk about India.
हाँ.
India is on its way down, 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 down.
Don't say that.
I don't see anything happening with India because the rot has now gone into the body. The cancer has been there and now it's spreading.
In what? Corruption.
Corruption, way of thinking, the hatred for different religions,
yeah,
the violence, everything, the rot has set in now. Patient is in ICU, उसको मरना ही मरना है. अब ये डिपेंड करता है कितने टाइम में मरेगा वो,
कितना टाइम खींच लेगा.
ICU से निकलना बहुत मुश्किल है, unless there is a revolution, which the current generation doesn't have the balls to go through.
For any revolution to happen, it takes decades and decades to process.
They don't have the guts to do it.
So we will see only downhill in our lifetime.
According to me, and I hope to God I'm wrong. I pray to God I'm wrong. But I see nothing happening in this country. I feel sorry for my children. I keep telling my son, Arey, get a foreign passport and get the hell out of here. This country is going to the dogs. You know how many people have left India in the last 10 years? Since this government came, now I'm not criticizing the government, I'm criticizing the state of affairs.
So, overall, yeah.
More people have left India in the last 10 years than they had 30 years before that. See, migration from India started in the 50s.
Yeah, after independence.
After independence, when people were looking for greener pastures, Canada, the Western, especially Canada, had opened up because they had a shortage of population.
Yeah.
They needed labor.
Yeah.
Australia needed labor.
Taxpayers.
And so a lot of Indians, but they went to the US. But the US was different. Places like Australia, Canada, the labor class, or they went to work in the railways, which was a few hundred years ago, to South Africa or to South America or wherever.
But those were few.
That was labor.
Labor and few.
Then a lot of immigration started from Punjab because they wanted greener pastures. They went to Canada. They went to England. There are more Sikhs in Toronto than there are whites.
It's a mini Punjab.
Then the immigration started to the US, but that was the intelligentsia, the literate people. The Indians are the richest community in America. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Per capita income, the Indian
community has
the richest community because all brilliant people went.
That was the cream that went from India.
The cream, and it was kind of a brain drain.
They couldn't find anything here.
They couldn't find anything, but things were tough.
Yeah.
After partition, there was socialism during Nehru's time, Gandhi's time. They didn't have opportunities. And you say that an Indian can do well anywhere else in the world, but not in India.
Now they say it's changing. Do you see that?
Now what is happening? People are leaving because they are scared of what will happen to them. People would डर से लोग पहले लोग गए थे काम ढूंढने
अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए
अब लोग डरे हुए हैं
नहीं पढ़ना ये सब में
और अब जो लोग जा रहे हैं पहले गरीब लोग जाते थे या पढ़े लिखे लोग जाते थे who needed opportunities अब जा रहे हैं अमीर लोग who can afford to go and get passports
निकलो यहाँ से
or they are taking all the wealth with them. So this is not a brain drain, this is wealth drain.
ब्रेन ड्रेन तो हो चुका
है
वो जो पहले गए सब चले गए वो ब्रेन तो चला गया.
I mean today Microsoft का Google का Facebook का all CEOs Pepsi all Indians.
Yeah of course. But you're saying ये पीक है आप ये हो गया
अब आगे unke bacche will do very well. All these people who left in the 60s and 70s who are now reached
Top of the thing.
Their children will be the next. They will be the next pioneers of business. Not our children from India.
Beach में.
यहाँ से कोई नहीं जाएगा. वो ही multiply होते रहेंगे.
उधर saturation हो गया है, इधर खाली हो गया है.
देखो ना वहाँ पे in the West, it's the Indians and the Chinese. You have this spelling bee competition. It's either a Chinese or an Indian who always wins. Why? Because Indian culture is such, especially the culture of the people who emigrated to the West in the 60s and 70s, that they want to make their children study because they themselves studied. And they went there because they were educated and they went there for better opportunities.
और मिली उनको. तो उनके लिए तो वही सही है.
बिल्कुल. All doctors, engineers, computers, even NASA, there are people in NASA who are Indians.
Yeah.
A company like Pepsi, the CEO of Pepsi was an Indian. That what I forget her name.
Indra Nui.
Nui,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So अब उनके बच्चे will do very well.
Beach वाला.
वो खत्म हो गया.
Thank you हो गया.
And Ambani's son will always be a billionaire over here.
Yeah.
Let him go to get a job in the US. कोई नहीं नौकरी देगा.
हाँ. जॉब में तो परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए भाई.
अंबानी हो, अडानी हो, कोई भी हो, कोई उनको नौकरी नहीं देगा. अपने बाप का पैसा लेके वहां पे बिजनेस शुरू कर सकते हैं. And there's no guarantee if they will succeed. But all these other guys, they started from scratch.
Yeah.
And they rose within the organizations they were working. These guys can't do that. They don't have the balls to do it or the intelligence to do it.
What does it take to rise from ground to topmost?
Hard work. Only hard work and that burning desire. I won't get into details, but I'll tell you a little story. After my college, I joined the Film Institute in Pune.
Oh, FTI?
Yeah. And I used to be an actor. Suniye puri baat. And everybody around me, including my classmates and my professors, they used to say, there's one person who is going to make it big. It's going to be Raju. They had such high hopes. And I didn't. My classmates, all of them made it very, very big. You know my classmates were? Mithun, Naseeruddin Shah, Puri, Shakti Kapoor, Shabana Azmi.
Oh my God.
Ranjita Kaur. And Suresh Oberoi, they're all my classmates.
Wow.
And they all made it big and I didn't for the simple reason because I wasn't hungry enough. Hunger is that hunger to succeed in life. All these people who succeeded, even let's not talk about the Indians for a minute. Let's talk about the Zuckerbergs or the Bill Gates. Or Steve Jobs. They were in Ivy League universities, but they never graduated. They dropped out. You know that?
I heard that.
They all dropped out.
Left somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Because they said, we are hungry.
That wasn't consuming them enough.
So it was that hunger. Now, why did my classmates make it? Mithun, for example, let's talk about him. His mother used to be a telephone operator in Calcutta.
Okay.
And Mithun used to be a cabaret dancer.
I've heard that.
He used to dance in bars. For every holiday, he used to come to my home in Delhi because he didn't have any place to go for holidays. So he used to come and stay with me. My mother used to have Bengali maid. So Mithun used to translate whatever she used to say.
Okay.
Puri was in Phagwara in Punjab. He used to work as a daily labourer.
This I didn't know. Okay.
Nazir, educated. He was educated in, I think, King George's or some school in Nainital. But family wasn't well-to-do. Although his brother retired as a general in the army. But no place to go. He didn't have any money when he was in the institute. I used to smoke 555 Nasir. He used to smoke Charminar. Shakti Kapoor's father was a tailor.
My God.
Not Vivek, his father, the Oberoi.
Suresh.
He used to be a medical representative. And I used to live in a bloody air-conditioned house, huge place in Delhi. Went to the best school in India. I went to Scindia School, Gwalior. And everything going for me. So I had everything, but I did not have the hunger.
Which is why you did not have the hunger. You were comfortable.
That is it.
Yeah.
So if you have the hunger, why do you have the hunger if you don't have enough in your life? If you're comfortable, then that hunger is missing. Oh, किसी ने बोला Rockefeller. You said it. The Rockefellers were once the richest people on the planet. So the old man Rockefeller went to the Waldorf Astoria in New York, and he tells the manager greeted him, Mr. Rockefeller, welcome to the Waldorf Astoria. So he says, sir, give me the cheapest room in the hotel. So he said, Mr. Rockefeller, you want the cheapest room in the hotel? You're the richest man on earth. And you want the cheapest room in the hotel?
Yeah, what are you
So
talking
your son was here just 2 weeks ago. And he booked 2 floors in the presidential suite. And you say you want the cheapest room? He says, yes. He says, why? He says, because my son has a rich father, I didn't. That is the problem.
Wow.
I had a rich father, they didn't. The hunger was missing. But obviously, it came back at some stage that I did well for myself, not in the film world, but okay. Today I'm very comfortable.
Yeah.
I have everything going for me. I probably made more money than half of these people who were with me in the institute.
Sure. And when did you get this hunger?
Hunger I got when I went to the US.
What happened?
There were no servants, no place to live.
No place to live also.
Lived, staying with friends. Didn't have my own. You know what they used to call me when I was living in America?
What?
Raju the money whore. Because I only used to think about making money. I didn't have any money at that time. Okay, my family was rich in India. But in the US, I was totally on my own. I didn't have a penny. There were times when I didn't have money to eat. That is when the hunger grew, when I was 10,000-15,000 miles away from home. उन दिनों तो सेल फोन भी ये नहीं कि अपनी मम्मी को फोन करके ओहो मेरी बुढ़िया, you couldn't even do that. You couldn't call them up every day. It used to cost at that time, you had to go to a phone booth, first of all collect dimes and nickels to make a call to India.
It was like that, yeah.
So there's nothing you could do. That is when I started living on my own. Only hungry people have made it in life.
Hunger can come by inspiration or it comes only by pain?
Only by desperation. Now let's talk about food. You're hungry. Why? Because you haven't eaten. Nobody can inspire you to eat. If आपका पेट भरा हुआ है, somebody, you might go to a Michelin star restaurant and they might put the best dish in the world. You still not eat it because you're full. You have to be hungry. And if you're hungry, वो जेल का भी खाना खा लोगे.
स्वाद लगेगा.
हाँ, स्वाद लगेगा. और पेट भरा हुआ है तो Michelin star भी तुमको.
फीका.
You will not enjoy it.
But अपने देश में इस वक्त इतना गरीबी है, इतना मारामारी है, तो डेस्परेशन तो होना चाहिए क्योंकि कुछ है नहीं उनके पास. बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है द यूथ ऑफ टुडे फ्रॉम इवन जो स्ट्रगलिंग क्लासेस हैं, लोअर मिडिल क्लास वाले, कुछ हंगर तो होता ही है,
बहुत हंगर है,
बट बहुत सारा नहीं भी है.
मैं बताता हूँ क्यों.
हाँ,
उनके पास हंगर है,
हाँ,
लेकिन पढ़ाई नहीं है, नॉलेज नहीं है. फॉर देम द इजी वे आउट कि सारा कहीं से तमंचा खरीदो, गाड़ी में जो लोग जा रहे हैं उनका लूट लो, कोई दुकान लूट लो, कोई बैंक लूट लो, या आजकल वो कंप्यूटर स्कैम्स हैं वो चल रहे हैं, वो कर लो. पैसा
आने से मतलब.
हाँ,
जैसे कर पाओ करो,
जैसे कर पाओ कर लो, चोरी कर लो, हेरा फेरी कर लो.
And I think the youth is rebelling on this only.
The biggest problem in our country is that youth is not rebelling.
Youth is angry.
Angry at what?
At nothing working.
Why don't they do something about it? In a democracy, anger is always translated into your vote. That is the time when you can show your anger.
Yeah.
vote against something that you're angry with. यूपी में यूथ है, they are angry with the love jihad, they are angry with the bulldozer या राज whatever. अभी परसों इलेक्शन हुई है, 9 सीट में 9 सीट में बीजेपी वन. Where is the youth showing their anger? कहाँ दिखा रहे गुस्सा?
बट ये सब फेयरनेस से थोड़ी ना से इलेक्शन जीते जाते हैं. यूथ कर रहा होगा.
देखो जी, ऐसा है कि बीजेपी उतनी ही फेयर है जितनी कांग्रेस थी.
हाँ, वो समझती हूँ मैं, बट हम ये कैसे कह सकते?
इनकी जो है, इनमें वो हंगर ज्यादा है, तो दे आर टेकिंग मोर रिस्क्स एंड दे हैव द किलर इंस्टिंक्ट. द कांग्रेस डिडंट हैव द बॉल्स टू.
बट लोग वोट तो कर रहे हैं अब, पहले से ज्यादा तो अब कर रहे हैं.
वोट कर रहे हैं, पर पार्टी तो वही आ रही है ना पावर में.
हाँ,
अब लोग ईवीएम को
then there is some other mechanism that's working in the background, ना?
Of course there is, but neither you nor me know about it, or we suspect. Even if we have proof, there's nothing you can do because people don't have the balls to speak up.
Because people don't have the balls to speak up.
They don't have the balls to speak up.
But that's also because of the fear.
Fear, but why is the fear? Because people have no spine.
ये तो कई बार हुआ है.
See, people say that the election commission, for example, is pro-BJP. During Sonia Gandhi's time, her best friend's husband was the chief election commissioner. His name was Naveen Chawla. He used to be my neighbor in Nizamuddin.
Achha.
What is the difference? Every party has done it.
Has done it, yeah.
Everybody has done it.
जब रायता फैलाना है तो फैला रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल. तो ये कोई दूध का धुला नहीं है, सारे एक ही थाली के चट्टे पट्टे हैं. इनको ये चीजें याद तब आती हैं. कांग्रेस ने अपने टाइम पे बहुत किया. अब इनको याद आ रहा है क्योंकि उनके अगेंस्ट हो रहा है. अभी बीजेपी कर रही है, कल कांग्रेस वापस पावर में आ जाए तो फिर बीजेपी रोएगी कि देखो ये क्या कर रहे हैं,
और यही चीज निकाल के बताएंगे.
तो ये is something inherently wrong with our society.
So just the last question, that this is where we are as a country, as young people, tourism, everything that we discussed. Do you see those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things that if agar ho jaye वो चीजें, तो we may not see the doomsday super soon?
अच्छा, see, the possibility of reversing this, what has happened to our society in the last many years, is very low. But never say never. Some miracle might happen. Another Gandhi might be born. Another Buddha might be born.
Yeah.
कि राम 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 करते रहते हैं, राम मंदिर ये वो, although there is no scientific proof that Ram ever existed. There's no proof at all that Bhagwan Ram ever existed. It is just mythology.
माना जाता है.
तो भैया हो, but there is proof that Buddha existed. There is proof Gandhi existed. There is proof Martin Luther King existed. There is proof Nelson Mandela existed. Now these people in their own way changed the whole world single-handedly.
That's true.
So if a person like that is born, or maybe is already born, things can change. But the way things are going on right now, the rot has set in to an extent. Like I told you, the patient is in the ICU. उसके 2 ही ऑप्शंस हैं. ICU निकलना बहुत मुश्किल है. वहीं पड़ा रहेगा कोमा में या मर जाएगा. जो तीसरे ऑप्शन जिसकी मैं बात कर रहा हूं, और पेशेंट को है टर्मिनल कैंसर, ही इज ब्रेन डेड. तो जैसे मैंने बोला, either he will remain in coma, die maybe 20 years later, or die tomorrow, unless suddenly there is a cure for cancer. People are working on it.
Yeah.
In all laboratories all over the world.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, then, अरे, cancer is curable.
You never know कब निकल आए.
वो ICU से निकल जाएगा. Now that cure is what I'm saying. That cure is either Gandhi or a Buddha or
So something really radical and something
Something miraculous has to happen.
new.
Otherwise, the rot has set in. We can only go downhill from here. Our society has been indoctrinated towards this hatred and intolerance. So, at least in my lifetime, no, I don't think so. Definitely not in my lifetime. But I believe in miracles.
Yeah. India is in ICU. So this can be the bhavishwani of somebody who's very cynical, or it can be somebody who's been there, done that. The point is not to judge him. The point is not कि Mr. Rajoo Verman जो कह रहे हैं, is he authorized to say that or not? सही है, गलत है, छोड़ो, वो उनका एक opinion है. The point is कि वो जो कह रहे हैं, अगर वो सही है, तो क्या? भाई, मुझे नहीं रहना ICU में, और ना मैं अपने किसी loved one को ICU में देखना चाहती हूँ. So we all have to do our bit, you know, अपनी निजी जिंदगी में, then अपनी colony, अपनी society, अपनी country में. So you must listen to 2 other podcasts that are saying similar thing, very similar, but in a very different manner than Rajoo Verman. One is of Himanshu Jain. He's a BJP supporter, a very, very big fan of Modi ji. And he says that all these allegations that we commonly hear around BJP are incorrect. It's one side of the story. It's one type of a narrative जो कि बस फैलाया जा रहा है, फैलाया जा रहा है, फैलाया जा रहा है. And finally, कोई भी गवर्नमेंट या कोई भी पार्टी दूध की धूली नहीं है. You know, so कोई भी पार्टी है, उसका अगर आप निकालना शुरू करो उसकी डिटेल्स, तो आपको एक से एक चीजें मिलेंगी. एंड द पॉइंट इज कि जो गवर्नमेंट अभी है, अभी तो वही है, तो उस पर ट्रस्ट कर लें या आस्क द राइट क्वेश्चंस, डू योर थिंग. And that's true. I believe in it. Then the second podcast that you must listen to is of Arijit Singh. He's a acclaimed artist. बहुत प्यारे artist है वो. बहुत sensible है. And he could just stick to his art. मजे से अपनी art बनाओ, ऐश करो, क्या problem है? But he has taken his art to a level where he wants to leave people thinking, reflecting on the way our entire society is, because he feels कि जब वो पैदा हुए थे और जो शुरू के उन्होंने 10-15 साल जिंदगी के देखे, India had a lot of hope, and that he feels कि अब कम हो गई है या खत्म हो गई है. And that's exactly what Rajoo Verman is saying. मैंने उनको बोला कि यूथ एंग्री है, यूथ फ्रस्ट्रेटेड है, तो उन्होंने, आपने सुना होगा, जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं नहीं, एंगर नहीं है, यूथ डजंट हैव द स्पाइन. I mean, fair point to analyze, right? So my request from this whole podcast and understanding is to have a point is one thing, and then to have a spine to put it out there is another point. So WhatsApp University is not जहाँ पे आप अपनी spine use करते हो, है ना, या इंटरनेट पे जस्ट स्टोरी में कुछ डाल दिया, ये स्पाइन नहीं है. उसे क्या हो गया, कुछ लिख के कहीं पे डाल दिया, 2-4 लोगों ने लाइक शेयर कर लिया, दैट्स नॉट स्पाइन. But what are you doing to solve it? That's the spine. So I hope this makes sense, and if it does, then अपने अपने areas में करो जो करना है, and let not India be in ICU.